While the Trump effect will influence every race in November, it is probably a big factor in Ohio's race for U.S. Senate. Jim Renacci fully supports Trump's policies and has the president's endorsement. Sherrod Brown, while not a fan of the president, does support his trade policies, at least in principle. Check out this ad.
Night and day, they work making the best steel in the world. Ohio workers should have a senator who works hard for them. I'm Sherrod Brown. I've made protecting Ohio jobs my top priority. I'm proud I voted against NAFTA and against trade deals with Colombia and South Korea and opposed the Trans-Pacific Partnership that put our jobs at risk. Plenty of senators stand up for Wall Street, but I work for Ohio. That's why I approve this message.
But that ad may run counter to Ohio's voters' thinking when it comes to trade policy. At least it's not that cut and dry. The Quinnipiac poll asked Ohio voters if they support tariffs on Chinese products. And they do, by a wide margin. So Brown's and Trump's stances look good there. But when you ask voters about the consequences, it gets a little more complicated. If those tariffs raise the price of TVs or washing machines, then the support splits. If it leads to a trade war, then most Ohioans oppose tariffs by a 9-point margin. So on this trade issue, Dale, that was a very Trumpian ad almost. Anti-trade from the anti-NAFTA, trade deals. What does Sherrod Brown do? Where's the sweet spot?
I think, as somebody who's done a lot of campaigns in this state over the last 3 decades, I think Sherrod's ad strategy has been brilliant. The ad you just showed reminds blue-collar voters, many of whom voted for Trump last time, that Sherrod has been with them all along in opposing NAFTA and some of the other trade deals that they hate, and was one of the big reasons that they voted for Trump. He started off his ad campaign, though, with 2 spots about Jim Renacci. Well, now that poll that we were just talking about a minute ago showed that half the electorate in this state doesn't know who Jim Renacci is, don't know enough about him to have an opinion. So by talking about his tax problems, Renacci's tax problems, the fact he was registered as a lobbyist, Sherrod is defining Renacci before he has a chance to do it himself. And I think that's one of the reasons, Sherrod is much more popular in this state than Trump is. Sherrod's approval rating is 55 approved, 29 disapproved. Trump is 43 approved, 54 disapprove. I think all this is putting Renacci in a box and a hole, a very deep hole that's going to be very difficult for him to dig out.
But if somebody at a car company or somebody else loses their job because of tariffs, or a soybean farmer, things like that, you see higher grocery prices. The trade ads can come back to haunt them.
Right, party's over. As soon as people start having a negative impact from some of these policies, which might happen. We're hearing threats now of all kinds of tariffs on products coming into the country. As soon as that starts to happen, I think you may be singing a different tune.
But who's going to be blamed? It will not be Sherrod Brown. Trump is going to be the one blamed, because the headlines every day are about Trump imposing these tariffs and other countries retaliated and so forth.
So
I don't disagree.
What is the Trump had a good first half of the week.
Sure.
Second half, not so much. He had a good couple days there with North Korea, good imagery. There wasn't a whole lot of meat on the bone on that agreement, but it wasn't bad.
No. He wasn't calling him Little Rocket Man.
No,
it wasn't bad.
And his approval ratings have ticked up from the mid-30s to close to the mid-40s now.
Actually, his approval rating right now is comparable to what Obama had in his term and what Clinton had in his. So.
Yeah, and we saw what happened to those 2 presidents' parties in the midterm elections at that time, right?
So what will be the impact on Donald Trump in this election? Will it be a positive? Probably negative. How negative will it be?
Yeah, in some areas of the state it will be a positive. Some other areas it won't be. Candidates are going to have to decide for themselves where they want to be, like Sherrod has. Sherrod is running an ad that is very, very much like Donald Trump. What I found hilarious is he's running away from the Democrat Party on that whole issue, because it was the Democrat Party that did NAFTA, and the Democrat Party almost shoved that TPP, that Pacific one, down our throats too. I think if Hillary Clinton had run an ad like that in Ohio, she might have won Ohio, except she didn't believe any of that, so she couldn't.
Jackie, the polls show that Trump is a factor in all these. You see that in all the numbers. Everyone has an opinion on Trump. It was like 1% didn't have an opinion on Trump. Everyone has an opinion.
Right.
Love him or hate him, but everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, and we had the 2 polls come out this week. In one poll, it looked like maybe it would be a wash. There was about 30 that were all, I'm for it, I'm against it, I don't care. But then the other poll showed that maybe the anti-Trump voters are more motivated and see the midterm election as a way to express their feelings of how they feel about Trump.